Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. On this episode of Days of Our Lives, Leo makes contact with a former acquaintance, Stefan surprises Gabby, and Connie strikes once more. Ava is discussing Gabby's chic ideas with Gabby as the brand's namesake calls her out for being nervous on today's episode of Days of Our Lives. Ava asks about Rafe and fabricates a reason. Nothing has changed. At that moment, Stefan contacts Gabby and tells her he needs to meet with her at the restaurant immediately. Ava swears to herself as a startled Gabby flees. Oh my god. Why am I now feeling less well? Bobby tells Jada at the police station that he is not a killer even if he acknowledges his identity after receiving a few threats. However, I didn't stab Lee. I also didn't stab Rafe. But before he can say anything, he begins to feel queasy and says he feels sick. Although Jada doesn't buy it, he claims he has to go and stumbles out of the room. Jada receives a phone message from Stephanie alerting her to Leo's suspicion that Everett is still Bobby. Soon after her arrival, Jada tells her pal what Bobby has admitted to being, well, Bobby. He continues to maintain that he is not a killer, but he is aware of who is. After taking in everything, Stephanie says she's going to Everett's immediately. Although Jada's hands are legally bound, hers aren't. Jada runs after her as she storms out. When Leo knocks to Everett's hotel room in search of his employer, Connie is happily framing him. Just as Leo leaves, Connie freezes and knocks something over, but he takes the hint and moves on. She places his medicines next to the bedside, leaves a note on his laptop, and plants some gloves. She drops a keycard as she slips away. Soon after, Bobby shows there, relieved to find his room card on the ground and barely able to stand. Oh God. What is wrong with me? Sighing and writhing, he finds his way to his bed in his room and notices the pill bottle beside it. He picks up where he left off reading it. Is it really that important? He realizes that Connie drugged him as he recalls her giving him coffee. He tries to call for assistance but is unable to use the phone. Jack gets to the Spectator to see Chad congratulating him on returning his half of the paper. However, his purpose for being there is to discuss Abigail, not to work. The video cleanup is taking a long time and might come to an end. Chad claims that if it is, they have nothing. Chad offers to return his portion of the paper to Jack before he leaves. But he won't accept it. Abigail was intended to have it. And everything should go to Thomas and Charlotte eventually, whether or not she is still living. Leo then makes an appearance to wax lyrical about all the lady whistleblower anecdotes he has. He mentions to Chad that Everett doesn't seem like himself and that he was really disappointed when he went to see the chief editor. Everett only needs room to work on his mental health, Chad advises him. Leo, though, questions whether Everett was given an early release. Days Chad and Jack converse at the Spectator offices across from one another, appearing worried. When they talk about Jack returning, Leo says he was also curious about Gwen's return. It dawns on him then that today was her and Dimitri's anniversary. The two of them never even got divorced because of the catastrophe. He ended his friendship with Gwen without any reason, only for Dimitri to claim in a sloppy letter that he had met and fallen in love with a man while incarcerated. I'm not sure if that's even true in part. Leo believes Dimitri might have returned to Gwen in order to get his inheritance back. Telling him it's a stretch, Chad soothes him. Which would cause less distress? Another man, or Gwen? Leo fears that he may break Gwen's heart once more. He longs for both of them. A great deal. Chad wishes Leo well and advises him to look forward rather than back. You're allowed to feel alone. Sometimes it's just not possible to move on from the love of your life. Leo queries whether Abigail's situation has changed. He wishes Chad would never have to go on. Kristen, who is back at Demera, stops by Ava's office to ask where Gabby is. On her second day, she leaves at Stefan's request, which is unacceptable. Says Ava, she told her to leave. If Stefan is going to tell Gabby about their affair, it's best to pull off the bandage. She should stop worrying, Kristen says. Additionally, refrain from bringing it up in public. Someone is going to hear. At that moment, Connie excitedly walks in and introduces herself as Gabi's new executive assistant. Connie asks where her employer is as Ava meets her. Kristen sips her coffee and drinks it down. However, she quickly stops herself, complaining that it tastes terrible, and Connie remembers taking drugs in Bobby's coffee. She left everything out. Anyway, not in that one. She should bring coffee sweetener, Kristen advises. And you work for me, Connie replies, adding that she works for Gabi. Kristen screams. Chop chop. Gabi sends Ava a message letting her know that she's celebrating her anniversary by taking the rest of the day off work. Connie, wondering where her desk is, runs in with sweetness. How about you ask Gabi? While Connie takes a seat in Gabi's chair, Kristen slips out with Ava. It's not being used by anyone. It's okay if I do. In the empty restaurant, Stefan is pacing tensely, but Gabi enters and says he wants to spend time with his wife alone. He produces a bouquet of roses and amps up the charm. For what purpose are these intended? Happy anniversary, to the love of my life, he says. However, Gabi had forgotten. She's been quite busy with Gabi's chic, but she feels terrible. She also wishes to put that whole disastrous Gwen/Dimitri double wedding behind her. He says he only wanted to surprise her and it's okay. He tells her he has more surprises in store after they kiss. This is just the beginning. He read aloud to her a poem he had written for several minutes. When he's done, they kiss again. When Stephanie and Jada stormed into Bobby's room in the waning moments of the program, they discovered him unconscious but still alive. His heartbeat is feeble. After locating the pills, Jada tries to figure out how many he consumed. I failed to take, he murmurs. Dazed Jada asks Bobby, who is unconscious and lying in bed, what happened while she clutches his wrist. Connie cheerfully chats to herself about putting the Bobby problem behind her. Making Stefan and Gabi pay for what they did to Lee is the next task. She has a flashback to hearing Ava and Kristen discussing Stefan's affair right outside the door of the office. After telling Gabi that he loves her more and more every day, Stefan pours some champagne. They raise a glass to a new year. Best one yet, according to Gabi. And they share another kiss. Leo phones Gwen while they are out at Horton Square and is taken aback by her response. She hangs up after telling him to go screw himself. Jack then makes his way back to the Spectator and announces that he has the tape. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.